Prime Minister, when it comes to women's issues, you consistently miss the mark. Evidently, you need to see women through the prism of your wife or your daughters. And in 2022, there's just no excuse for that level of ignorance. What is not cutting through for you? What needs to happen for you to recognise the inequality, bias and dangers that women face?
Well, look, I don't share your view about that, and I don't think that's how I do see those issues. Of course, I, like any other Australian, I'm informed by, the world I live in and my own family, but that's not how I see those issues. I see them individually.
But you're
And that's
not every
why,
other Australian. You're the Prime Minister.
I know,
You have
and that's
people
why,
come to you every day from different organisations around the country that work in these industries every day because you're not on the ground, and they tell you what's happening and you don't instigate change.
well, I'd have to disagree. I mean, there are more women in work today than we've ever seen. We've got the lowest gender pay gap that we've ever seen. We've got one of the lowest unemployment rates amongst women that we've ever seen. I've put more women onto government boards. We had more than 50%. That's more than Labor had. I have more women in my cabinet than any other Prime Minister in Australia's history. On the women's domestic violence package, we put over $1 billion to that into the last package, and we'll be making further announcements. That is more money than any other federal government has ever put into these issues, ever. So when you look at the actual actions, when you look at the actual record and the things that we have done on the ground, then I think that runs very contrary to the narrative you've just put to me. And we'll be doing more. I mean, it's about the actions you take. And what I have done is actually respond with real things on the ground, with support for women in domestic violence to get access to better quality housing and places of relief. Actions to support women who are dealing with mental health challenges, actions to support women who are struggling with issues of endometriosis. I mean, these are the practical things that governments do and that I have done. Now, others may not want to look at those things and they might want to listen to other voices and our critics. But when you look at the reality, I mean, our government has delivered economically, as socially, and in terms of representation, like no other government before us.
Except when it comes to harassment and sexual harassment in the workplace, when they came to you with a plan and you gave them less than a week to turn that around. So you say that
Well,
these
I'm
things
sorry,
are
I don't know what you're
happening.
referring to. We initiated well before the Jenkins report the changes in the parliamentary workplace that have been the most significant transformations of any time in the parliament, and we did that in a multi-partisan way. So I know what you're putting to me, but the problem is that, and the way that this has been, I suppose, treated in the media, that's not what the actually reality is. And so, at every time we've taken this issue as seriously as you would expect, and more so, and I continue to. And why? Because I think it's very important, incredibly important. I want the workplace to be safe for everybody. And right now, it's not the Liberal Party who are facing those sorts of issues. And I think it's important for all parties to address these issues. We certainly are. And I would expect all of them to do that.